All right, test, 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 test. Make sure I got some volume here. All right, test, 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 test. Make sure I got some volume here. All right, I think I'm ready to go here. Sorry about the delay. I'm having an issue. Like I said, I'm trying to get myself familiar with this StreamYard and stream sharing and all this. Is kind of complicated. So, but what I want to talk about today is I was going to talk about Cat and Zoans a little bit, but I changed my mind. And the reason why I changed my mind is because something else came across caught my eye today. And there was another shooting in Lancaster, PA. And I'm going to let y'all see the video and what happened in this case. And then after we watch the video and watch what happened, then I'm going to tell you where I disagree with this entire thing and why I feel like we're beginning to use the word police brutality too much. And as we use it, we're tending to cheapen the death of people like Floyd, Eric Garner, people like that who died from true police brutality. Everything is not police brutality. Some things you got to look at yourself and ask yourself, what would you have done in that situation? So I'm gonna let y'all listen to this right here. Then after that, I'm gonna go more in depth of what I mean by what I just said. Now, this is where I think we need to pay attention to. This guy has a knife in his hand. A knife. Now, by him having a knife in his hand, chasing the officer, how many of y'all would have allowed this guy to chase you with a knife and not reacted? Now, myself personally, if someone is chasing me with a knife, and if I got a gun or something to protect myself, I'm going to protect myself. And see, that's why I say in cases like this right here, where this guy is actually chasing the officer with a knife, with something in his hand that can harm someone, you got to defend yourself at all costs. And now, by people protesting behind this case, me personally, this is not something you protest. Because you have to realize anyone who's chasing someone with a knife is deadly to that person. And this is why, so we need to stop protesting everything. Everything is not police brutality. Everything is not going to be justified. Well, in this case, he's justified in shooting this guy, from my point of view. Because if it was me, I would shoot this guy myself personally. I have a family at home. I have someone who loves me and want to see me come home to my family. This is nothing like George Floyd. This is nothing like Eric Garner. This is nothing like those cases. But people are actually out there protesting the shooting of this guy. Will I be out there protesting? Hell no. I will not be protesting for this guy. This guy is actually chasing a cop with a knife in his hand. What's up, T Black? So why are we sitting here protesting this? Why? Like I said, we cannot protest everything. We need to start holding people accountable for their fucking actions. This guy needs to be held accountable for his actions. Yes, he lost his life. Yes, I empathize for him for his family. But look at the reality of this whole thing. He's chasing someone with a knife. A knife. And the cop is actually backing up off of him. And the guy is still coming at him with the knife. Do we really need to protest this? Really? You know, I'm upset because this is cheapening George Floyd's life. Because the more you protest over everything that the police do, only thing you're doing is diminishing real police brutality. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. When the next black man or white man or whatever gets shot by the police unjustified, no one's going to pay attention. Because what we're doing, we're sitting back and we're trying to protest every fucking thing. Now, this story just popped off 3 hours ago, and it happened Sunday. It happened yesterday. But you got people in the street wanting to protest. This is nothing to protest. Nothing. And I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the people who are actually wasting their time trying to defend this guy who's chasing someone with a knife. Now, there is a backstory to this. And even with the backstory, it makes it even worse for the people who are protesting. Which I'm not going to get into the backstory because I don't want people to think I'm trying to judge this guy off of his past, because I'm not. I'm judging this guy off of what I see right here in this camera. That's just what I'm judging this guy off of. Nothing else. No more, no less. And what I see is a guy who has a knife, and I see a police officer who's trying to back off to protect himself from getting hurt. Now, don't get me wrong. I have seen a video of a police officer who was being chased by a guy with a knife. In some kind of way, the police officer was able to get the guy under control without shooting him. And I commend that cop. I really do. Because anybody who allow a man to chase him with a knife and still be able to not shoot the man and kill the man and also not get himself harmed, I commend him. But if he would have shot and killed that man, I would never say I wouldn't see anything wrong with that either. In this case right here, the cop shot and killed the suspect. And I think he's justified in doing it. And the people who are out there protesting, they're wrong. Because they are protesting someone who was in the wrong. They're protesting for someone who didn't give a damn about no one's life, including his own. If you really want my opinion, I think this guy committed suicide by cop. I really did. Because what else do you expect this cop to do if you're going to charge him with a knife? You should expect him to shoot you. Now, I think this guy has some mental issues also. Because the original call to the home was the guy was pretty much getting aggressive with his mother. And his family member, a family member is the one who actually called the cops on the guy because he was getting aggressive with his mother. But today we're sitting here and we're actually sitting here protesting this. And I don't see the reason why. We can't protest everything. Everything is not meant to be protested. This is not something that we should be protesting. But I'm going to let you listen to the rest of this clip because, you know, it goes into detail about his past, in which, like I said, I'm not judging him on his past. I'm judging him on what I see in this video.
Lost life, regardless of how it happens, it's devastating. It's devastating for everybody involved. It's devastating for the police department, our families, our community. It's absolutely devastating. We continue to come together and we want the community to stay calm, stay at peace. Anybody can work out. So 1 year ago, we arrested for standing at least 2 people, and then apparently he held a knife to his own throat when the police tried to intervene. He was now awaiting trial on 4 counts of aggravated assault. Tracy, he was no longer investigated by the things.
And T Black, what you just said there is facts. Because I put myself in a situation where I could have been harmed. Because I was an idiot at one point in time when I got swatted last year. And I after I thought about it, I put myself in that situation, and I should have never did that. But you're absolutely right. We should never put ourselves in a situation where we're gonna get harmed to that extent. And I agree. And with this case right here, this guy did everything to get shot. He did everything to get shot. You know, and like I said, we sit here and we take a case like this right here and we just want to protest because it's a cop shooting a minority. Because I think the guy might have been Hispanic. And that's a reason to protest. That's not a reason to protest. Look at the case itself. Look at what happened. And one thing the police did in this case, they released the video right away to show everybody what happened. And I'm glad they did. And like I said, anybody who out there protesting this, shame on them. Shame. This is not a George Floyd type case. Nowhere near that. We need to wake up and understand. We have to be held accountable for our own actions sometimes. We can't just go around blaming everything on someone else. We can't do that shit. We know we're going to realize sometimes it's us we got to look at. We have to take inventory of ourselves sometimes and look deep down inside of ourselves, ask ourselves, what is we doing wrong to put ourselves in these situations? There's no self-accountability anymore. We always want to blame someone else. We always want to put the blame squarely on someone else. We never look in ourselves and say, you know what? I fucked up. I did something wrong. I could have handled this situation much better. What's up, David? We could have handled this situation 100% better. Things would have been different. And that's one thing about the black community that we need to wake up and understand. Yes, there's still systematic racism out there, but that only plays a very small part in our lives now. We control a lot of things in this country. Look at the inner cities. We control the inner cities. We are the mayors, the police chief, the school board members. We're almost everything in the inner cities. But what are we doing to make it better for us? We need to stop the excuses. We need to stop it. And like I said before, yes, there's still systematic racism built into the American system. but it's not like it was back in the 50s and the 60s and in the 70s and even in the 80s. We are further along than we was then. Yeah, Dave, I did look at that. Actually, David, what I'm gonna do after I finish this live right here, I'm actually go to my other channel and I'm gonna address those things that I seen that you sent me. So as soon as I finish this right here, I'm gonna go over there and address what you sent me, and I appreciate it. Um, but yeah, we need to stop it. We need to understand. And like I said, one reason I came over today because I was going to talk about Candace Owens because me and T Black had a conversation the other day about that. And T Black, I'm gonna tell you something. When you said that she's somewhat right, well, you said that she got a lot of good points. You're right. She got some good points. But the problem with her good points are she don't believe in them herself. She's saying those things because it makes her look good to that white establishment on the Republican side. But when it comes to putting those things in action that she's speaking on, she don't want to do that. She don't want to put none of that stuff in action that she speak on because it's all lip service. And that's my biggest issue with her. She said a lot of dumb things when it comes to both parties. Because all this to her is a political game. Actually, I didn't even see that. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, if she actually put in action what she talked about, I can somewhat go along with her. But it's just the fact that I know it's rhetoric coming from her, out of her mouth just for the purpose of making money. You know, and that's the whole thing. You know, what I really wanted to do, I wanted to play something that she said, and I wanted to play something that ABL was talking about, which is Anthony Brian Logan, if y'all don't know him. And when it came to this protesting the NFL and all this protesting stuff, you know, my thing is right here. You can't go 100% against every black issue that comes up. And that's one thing with ABL, Candace Owen, Brandon Tatum. At least 95% of the issues that comes up when it comes to the black community, they're always on that other side of those issues. Now, if you want to win me over to bring me to your side, at least be 50% down the middle. Play that middle game. Don't show me that you're so biased that most issues that come up in the black community, you're going to be 95% to 100% on the opposite side of where every other black person is at. Because that shows me that you have no credibility. That shows me that you're biased towards one side always. With me, I can do both sides. I can agree on certain issues. I can disagree on certain issues. I'm down the middle. Like this case right here. I'm calling it straight down the middle. The guy who got shot, he's wrong. He deserved to get shot because he was chasing a police officer with a gun. We do not need to be in the street protesting this. This is no reason to be protesting. George Floyd, we need to protest that. That's straight up killing a man. You know. But with Candace Owens and ABL, they don't do that. Matter of fact, Candace Owens, what she did, and T Black, I'm not sure if you remember or watch what she did when it came to George Floyd. She actually talked against George Floyd. She brought up his criminal history. She brought up all the negative points about this man just to try to justify what the cops did. You know what I'm gonna do, T Black? I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna play that because I want you to understand. This is one reason why I can't get with Candace Owens. Hold on, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go, T Black. I want you to listen to part of this right here. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I just want you to listen to part of this.
What do you think? You love it? Meditate with your screen locked. Start a free trial of YouTube Premium.
Freaking commercials.
And unwind uninterrupted. The light leads the path away from destruction.
Sorry about that commercial. I heard it, and she didn't agree with him being killed. She didn't make him out to be one. Yeah, but the thing about that is, yes, I don't. Did she? I don't. But the thing about it is, why would you bring up his criminal history? Why would you even want to go down that rabbit hole? You know, if you disagree the way he was killed, why would you try to bring up his record, though? That's my point. It's one thing saying he's not a martyr, but that's another thing trying to disparage his name and saying that he was not an amazing man. Now, what do amazing man have to do with the way he died? You see what I'm saying? And just let me play this for a second.
Free the mind from evil obstruction.
It doesn't matter what percentage of the population you represent. It matters what percentage of the total of 9 unarmed black men were killed. If the rest of us upstanding black citizens have been trying to protect a pawn shop from looters, an upstanding citizen, an actual head of a police, he was the head of a police his entire life, 77 years old, did everything right? So we don't have to.
Yeah, T. But one thing about that, T, I understand he put himself in a certain situation. But this is my thing, though. If you are a law enforcement officer and you know this man is saying that he cannot breathe, and he have said this several times over, and from my understanding now, it's coming out that the cops that was around him actually told the cop that was on the neck that, you know, he should get off the neck. You see what I'm saying? So it's one thing putting yourself in a situation, but it's another thing when you get in that situation and you telling this cop that you cannot breathe, and the cop just refused to leave, get off your neck. We're talking about two different things now. Because yes, you committed a crime. Yes, you kind of made the situation a little difficult for yourself. But when another cop agrees with you that the guy should get off your neck, then you have a problem. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I said the George Floyd case is a little different than this case right here I'm talking about, because this case right here, this guy is physically trying to go after a cop with a knife. George Floyd was handcuffed on the ground saying that he couldn't breathe. And he said it more than once. See, that's the difference. I know the StreamYard is very slow. But my thing with Candace is this right here, though. Like I said, you can disagree with a situation. But now, I'm going to let you listen to this, though. Just listen to this. Just listen to this right here, though, T.
Have to kill upstanding black citizens because a non-upstanding black citizen, a career black criminal, died. Now, did he deserve to die in that manner? No. I can't say it enough. No, he didn't deserve to die in that manner.
Now, she just said he did not deserve to die. But listen what she said prior to that, though. See, this is the part that throws everything after that off.
On his last name, his first name is David, who was shot and killed for trying to protect a pawn shop from looters, an upstanding citizen, an actual head of a police. He was the head of a police his entire life, 77 years old, did everything right. right? So we now have to kill upstanding black citizens because a non-upstanding black citizen, a career black criminal, died. Now, did he deserve to die?
A career black citizen. You see what I'm saying? Why does it matter? Why does it matter if he was a criminal or not? If you disagree with where he died, forget about what he did in his past. Forget about his life he led prior to being killed. You see what I'm saying? This is my whole thing. You cannot sit here and tell me that you agree that what the cop did was wrong, but at the same time, you're going to sit here and disparage this guy still. He's a career criminal. Come on, man. You can't do that. And like I said, I agree with you to a certain extent. Yes, we put ourselves in a certain situation, most definitely. I agree with that. But still, when you're talking about putting yourself in a situation, you cannot sit here and tell me that just because George did what he did, the cop had the right to ignore him saying he can't breathe. So that's two different things. Now, if the cop would just arrested him and carried him to jail, no big deal. But the problem is this cop decided that he going to ignore what a man is saying that he couldn't breathe. So that's two different things. And like with Candace, yes, she did say he didn't have to die the way he did, but listen to what she said prior to that. He was a career criminal. What did that have to do with the way he died? That had nothing to do with that. And that's why people have issues with her. Because she's not really being genuine. It's kind of like the statement she made with about Hitler. You know, as long as Hitler stayed within the confines of Germany, what he did pretty much would have been okay. But his mistake was he decided to go global with it and try to take over the world. You know what I'm saying? So she don't think before she really talks. She just talk. Because she know that side that she's pretty much supporting is going to support that rhetoric that she put out. That's the only thing I'm saying. You know, if you think that what happened to him was not just was inhumane or he died the wrong way, don't sit here and say he was a career criminal on top of it. Come on, man. Come on, T. You know better than that, man. You know better than that. We all do. This is my thing. We all make mistakes in life. Some of us make more mistakes than others, but we all make mistakes. Now, do that means that just because I have made several mistakes in my life that I deserve to die a certain way and people can talk about my criminal history? Nah, it shouldn't be that way. Not at all. Yes, we need to own up to our mistakes, true enough. Most definitely own up to our mistakes. But those mistakes should be held against us. We really shouldn't. It shouldn't. Kind of like this right here, in which I haven't seen no videos of her talking about the white kid who did the 2 murders in Wisconsin and the gun he had. Now, I haven't seen no video because I haven't been over here pretty much doing this channel over here lately. And I'm honestly, I should look for this information just to see what she said. But do you realize a lot of people was trying to uphold what that guy did? They was trying to uphold saying that he was a victim and that, you know, he had the right to shoot the people he shot. You know what? If I said she said deserve, that was me misspoken. If I said that, that was me misspoken. So that was my fault. I apologize for that. You're right. But I'm not saying she said he deserved to die. What I'm saying is She didn't have to bring up his criminal history while trying to say that I guess what I'm trying to say is she's bringing up his criminal history to try to minimize the damage that the officer did. That's why she bringing up his criminal history. You see what I'm saying? She's basically trying to get the officer a way out. And she's pretty much softening what the officer did by saying that. If you think about it, that's a little deflecting going on there. So let me ask you a question, T. Like I said, I haven't seen anything about her talking about the kid who shot and killed the 2 people in Wisconsin. Now, have you seen anything about that topic? Because some of the things I've heard from the right, they was trying to say this kid was justified in killing those 2 people. Well, shooting those 2 people, because the first one, no one knows what happened. But the guy he killed and the guy he shot that didn't die, they're trying to say that it was self-defense. Even though this was a 17-year-old kid who brought a long gun across state lines from Illinois into Wisconsin. Y'all got to excuse me. StreamYard is very, very slow with comments. So I'm trying to read the comments on YouTube, just trying to keep up. What's up, Charles? So I agree his criminal history is irrelevant as to why he was killed, but he was accused of trying to use counterfeit money, which is why the police was called. Yeah, but my thing about that is, do you think his death, do you think by him using counterfeit money, all right, counterfeit money is a crime. But the result of that was totally different though. He ended up losing his life because of that counterfeit money. She is the one that started drugs, was in the drug system that was what killed them. Angie Jams, I don't remember. Did she say something about drugs being in the system that killed him? I can't say I seen her say that. But I do know that with her and Brandon and ABL, there was pretty much putting out his criminal history, trying to, make him look very bad due to his criminal background. I do know that for a fact. You know what? I'm not saying Candy said this, but I did hear that he had drugs in the system. He did have drugs in the system. So that was reported on the news. But getting back to the original part of this live, like I said before, George Floyd, I can see why people got upset about that. But this case right here that happened yesterday, I don't see any reason why someone would be protesting what happened to this guy yesterday. I really don't. Because I really feel like this guy yesterday, he put himself in a position to get shot. Right. We'll agree on that, T. 100%. We'll agree on that 100%. But I just hate to see people protesting in the streets over this case that happened yesterday. And the guy put himself in a situation where either it was the cop going to get hurt or he was going to get hurt. And it was him, you know? You know, now, Mr. Dawkins, let me say this right here. UNT Black, bro, and I know UNT Black are very intelligent black men. Do y'all realize that white people do the same thing with their criminals? They pamper them. Look at what's going on right now in the White House. Look what Donald Trump is doing to all his people that got caught up in this crap. He's pampering them. He's giving them a free get out of jail free card right now. So we all do it. They all do it. It's part of the criminal system. Rich people do it every day. Rich people do that shit every day. That's part of their American system. Like I said, I agree. He went into the store with a counterfeit $20 bill or whatever it was. They called the police, and he put himself in the situation where he put himself in the situation to be arrested. Arrested. To be arrested now. Like I said before, once he was on the ground, and the cop was on his neck, and he said several times that he couldn't breathe, he didn't ask for that. He asked to be arrested. That was it. I'm not saying he physically asked to be arrested. What I'm saying is when he put himself in a situation to be arrested, that's something totally different. But if that cop would have got off his neck when he said he couldn't breathe, he'd probably be still alive right now. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that he didn't deserve to be arrested. I'm not saying he didn't deserve the cop to be called on him. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying that he deserved to be alive right now. That's the only thing I'm saying. Because my thing is right here. If you commit a crime, you put yourself in a situation to deal with a police officer. Get that. I understand that part. That goes for anybody. But the problem is some of these cops are taking it too far. They're taking it too far. And that's the problem. And honestly, they're using different tactics for black people. And that's a known fact. Black people being treated differently than their white counterparts. Known fact. Well, Brandon and Candy both are married to the opposite race also. So, you know, that kind of gives you a little of their thought process too. Well, you know, Candace actually, y'all know Candace actually sued the Board of Education in Connecticut when she was in high school, right? And she used the NAACP to do it. So Candace has experienced racism, but all of a sudden today in 2020, she has forgotten all about that racism for some strange reason. You know what? I'm gonna agree with that, Mr. Dawkins, and I'm gonna disagree with that a little bit. Some of the things they like I was telling T earlier, a lot of their rhetoric is just all smoke and no fire. And the reason why I say about that is they say shit just to appease their audience. And their audience is pretty much a white audience. So what they're gonna say is gonna make their white audience and the people who are paying them that money happy. Now they do have some good points, but their points is this right here. No action behind it. There's no actions. And also, when you bring up negative things a lot in the black community, and from 95 to 99% of the time, you're on that side of your audience, that's a problem also. You know what? My thought process is right here. There's a very simple and easy way to reform police departments. You know what that is? Those so-called good cops need to start holding those bad cops accountable. Now, the problem with that is, if you look at society today, cops are still the same. Cops do not want to tell on each other. Cops are scared to cross that blue line. And that's the problem with the police departments of this country. They're not holding each other accountable. Now, there are police officers, and they're supposed to be law-abiding citizens, but they don't hold other cops accountable. And that's the problem. All they have to do is hold those bad cops accountable. That's it. And we can solve this problem. But they don't. They lie. Like, for instance, the case in Rochester, New York. Those cops lied about what happened. They lied. And if no one had pushed that issue more and more and more, they would have got away with it. And this is the type of things that happens in the police departments. And this is why I said a lot of police officers don't understand. They are their own worst enemies, because all they have to do is hold those bad cops accountable. That's it. And we can solve all of this. And you're right. We need to hold other black people accountable too. That's why I started this live. That's why this live started up, because I want people to understand we cannot sit here and say that everything the police do when it comes to shooting are wrong. And that's why I'm doing this live, because I want people to understand that some of these shootings, like this last shooting that happened in Pennsylvania, the guy deserved to get shot. I'm sorry. He deserved to get shot. He was chasing this officer with a knife, and the officer shot him. There's nothing to protest there. There is nothing to protest. Nothing. Nothing. Because I know for a fact, if you chasing me with a knife, you're going to die. Especially if I got a gun. You're going to die. The video shows everything. So, yeah, most definitely. And that's why I said we need, no matter if it's when it comes to the police, when it comes to our community as a whole, some of the things that goes on in our community, we need to start holding everybody accountable for their own actions. And that's the problem we have in our community today, that we tend to not hold ourselves accountable for our actions. We don't do that on everything. And I tell everybody also, when we talk about voting for the president, forget about voting for the president. Look at your local and your state officials that you put in the office. Those are the ones you should be holding accountable the most, Because those are the ones who are actually affecting your everyday lives. And we don't do that. And that's why I said, look at our communities as a whole. Is it really white people who are holding us back? Or are we just not holding each other accountable for our actions? That's a problem. That's an issue that we have. We want to pass the blame. We want to pass the blame to everybody else, but we don't look at ourselves deep down inside and say, what can I do to make my community better as a black man? That one right there, T in Atlanta, I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I'm going to disagree because when it comes to shooting a man in the back, nah, there's no justification to that. None whatsoever. None. That's just like Walter Scott. Do you agree with that one also? Do you agree that Walter Scott should have got shot in the back also? And see, and these cops be lying also in these reports. If you think that you're justified in doing what you're doing, why are you lying? Why do you have to lie in your report if you are so justified in what you just did? And see, that's another telltale sign that these cops know exactly what they're doing because they're lying in the reports afterwards. But T, you take in certain situations like Rodney King. All right, yes, he put a lot of people's lives in danger by speeding through the interstates and stuff like that. But did he deserve to be beaten the way he was beaten though? I think it was Walter Scott. Was it Walter Scott, South Carolina? A few years back, the cop who shot him in the back, he ran from the cop, and the cop got into a stance and just shot him in the back. They shot him in the back because he was running. That was the one in South Carolina years ago. Now that cop actually is in prison for shooting him in the back and killing him. I think it was Walter Scott. It was similar to the one in Atlanta that just happened in Atlanta at the Whitney's. It was similar to that. The cop shot him in the back while he was running away. The cop life was not in danger. He just decided to shoot him in the back. And he pulled him over for a broken tail light, I believe. And I think was it Walter Scott? Let me look that up. I think it's Walter Scott, I believe. Yeah, Walter Scott. It was Walter Scott. It was like 5 years ago in South Carolina. In North Charleston. Matter of fact, it was North Charleston, South Carolina. And I believe in that case, also the cop even tried to plant something in the area to try to say he had a gun. Yeah, T, but at the same time, T, you got to realize though, just because you holding somebody accountable for their bad behavior, do that means that if I go out and steal a pack of gum and during the process of me being arrested, I lose my life, is that really justification Is that really saying that I put myself in that situation to be killed? Like for instance, Walter Scott, for instance. Yes, he ran from the cop, true enough. But can we say he put himself in that situation to be killed? I can't sit here and say that I'm gonna say, okay, you put yourself in a situation to be arrested, yes, but not to be killed. What's up, Claudia? You know, I think we're on the same path, but I think you're taking it one step further than me, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm all about accountability. I'm all about accountability, but I just don't see someone being shot in the back because they decide to run. You know, yeah, you put yourself in a certain situation, but at the same time, it kind of, all right, play right here. All right, play right here, T. So basically what you're saying, T, is we need to we need to start going through these police department and getting rid of these crooked cops. That's what you want to focus on, right? The corruption of the police officer, right? So I think if I'm reading you right, I think we like halfway in between here. You know, I'm talking about the accountability of the black man for committing the crime, and his accountability should be going to jail, but not going to hell. Now you're saying that we should focus on the cops' behavior more than what happened to the black man. So I think we all can come to one agreement. We need police reform, right? With these departments, they all need to be reformed in some kind of way or fashion to be held accountable for all these cops that are going rogue. We all can agree on that. Actually, Claudia, they are. I'm trying to think. I think was that Atlanta, I believe. There was a I think it was Metro Atlanta. There was a city in Metro Atlanta or somewhere that actually gave cops free housing if they wanted to stay in like certain areas of the city. They can live there free, just so they can be more interactive with the citizens that they were serving. It was somewhere in Georgia, I believe. So let's focus on the black behavior, people first. So basically what you're saying to you is just right here. If you get pulled over by a cop, you should just how can I put this? I get what you're saying now. I get what you're saying now. I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It kind of like when I was listening to someone else saying, if you get pulled over by the cops, make sure your hands are on the steering wheel. Make sure everything is in view of the cop. So I understand what you're saying. Don't put yourself in a situation where the cop's gonna overreact. I get that. But T, let me ask you a question about that though. Why should we react differently than a white person who get pulled over? Yeah, Claudia, that's another case also. That Castile case when basically he was telling the cop that he had a gun and he had to reach until you crazy. T, you crazy, man. Come on, T. Come on, T. That kind of telling you I got to drive like an old lady for them. I got to drive like I'm on a Sunday drive. I cannot go over. I can't go over the speed limit. I need to go under the speed limit. So how about all the profiling then, T? When some of these drivers are not even speeding and they get pulled over just because they're black. How about that? You can't avoid that. Voting while black. She said she got put up while voting while black. Gee, you talking about making some drastic changes. Y'all might not be like me then, just give up driving, just walk. I haven't had a ticket in over 20 years. Well, I haven't had a car in about 3 years, so that's not the reason I haven't had a ticket. I feel where you're coming from, T. And I understand where you're coming from. Like I said, it's all about self accountability, and I understand what you're saying about us trying to hold each other accountable. And like I said, I'm kind of joking with you a little bit, but I understand what you're saying, as in like with the running from the police, with the resisting a little bit from the police. I understand what you're saying. Trust me, I get what you're saying. Yes, we do need to kind of be aware of our surroundings, and we should be aware that we are treated differently by the police. So we should take precautions when we interacting with the police. Most definitely, I get that part. I understand that part 100%. Is it right? Is it fair? No, we shouldn't have to do those things. But we in America, and we know we haven't been treated fairly or equally in this country. So we do have to take certain steps in order to come home to our families. So I get that, T. I get you. I understand what you're saying. No, I think what T is saying, you need to just adapt to your environment. You know what I'm saying? There's a hostile environment, so you got to be careful. So I get what he's saying. You got to be accountable for your actions, because if you slip up, what's going to happen. You're going to end up in a body bag. Instead of you taking that charge and trying to be respectful and go home to your family, just do it for your family. You got a wife at home, you got kids at home, put your hands on the steering wheel. It's not right that you have to do something different than a white man, but you want to go home to your family in the end of the day. So do it for your family. So I get it. I get it. I can't stand the StreamYard sometimes because it's so freaking slow. Mr. Dawkins, let me say this right here. What you said is partially true, but this is the problem, though. This is the problem. We can be held accountable for our own actions, But still, you got other people who's not gonna give a damn about how you trying to be accountable for yourself. Some people still gonna react in a certain way. That's what I was saying, Claudia. You can be accountable for your action, but everybody's not gonna go along with it still. Most definitely, everybody's not gonna go along with it still. Well, guys, I enjoyed being over here. I really did. I might start coming over here more often. Thank you, T, for showing up, man. I appreciate you coming over here. Auntie, Mr. Claudia, I appreciate y'all. Charles, thank y'all for stopping by, man. I'm gonna start doing more shows over here. I promise y'all. Cause we need to start doing more topics like this right here. We need to be more accountable to ourselves. So I really appreciate y'all stopping by, coming over here and participating in my show. Like I said, I'm gonna do more shows over here. Like I said, we need to, look at the other side of things for once. All the fuck shit is crazy, So I appreciate y'all stopping by, and I will be doing more shows over here. And T, I guarantee you, next time I fire up my computer over here, we're gonna talk about Candace the entire show, because I'm gonna be prepared next time. I wasn't prepared this time because I got onto a different subject, but next time I'm gonna be prepared. And if all you mega lovers, Auntie Jam, come on over here with that crap. I got something for you. We can have a spirit conversation about Donald Trump and his BS. What's up, Mark? Hey, Mark, man, I appreciate it, man. That's what you did the other day, man. I really did. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Like I said, though, I will be going to the fuck side in probably 30 minutes to talk about something else. But I appreciate y'all coming over here, and I promise you guys, I'm gonna start doing more shows over here, more lives over here. I promise you that, because I love talk politics. I love to talk about American and this fucked up system that we have, and some of the things that we need to do to correct it for ourselves. So we will be doing more shows over here. So I appreciate it. But like I said, I will be doing a show on the other side, probably in like 30 minutes to an hour. So y'all can come over there too and talk about the fuck shit for a little bit. So y'all have a good day. Until then, take care.